Far beyond the edges of known space, a tiny human probe floated silently. Its metal surface was scratched and old, but it carried secrets that no one had touched for centuries. Long ago, humans had stopped using the weapons it protected, thinking the galaxy was safe. Yet the probe, forgotten by Earth, continued its lonely mission. In a distant sector, two alien civilizations noticed something strange on their scanners. Strange signals, small but powerful, were pulsing across the void. Both fleets paused. Neither had ever seen anything like this. The signal was not from any living being. It was mechanical, ancient, and somehow alive. On the bridge of the first alien ship, Commander Kreldar stared at the glowing display. This is human," he whispered. His voice trembled with awe and fear. Humans had been a myth to many aliens. Stories told of creatures who had created weapons so advanced that no one dared fight them. And now, after centuries, proof floated before him. Meanwhile, on the Second Fleet's command ship, Admiral Sila's eyes narrowed. "We cannot ignore this," she said. "Even long after their disappearance, humans left something behind. Something powerful. We must reach it before the other side." Both fleets changed course, racing toward the source. Stars streaked past as ships navigated the empty black of space. The probe, unaware of the chaos it had triggered, drifted calmly. Its small lights flickered, sending out pulses that almost seemed like a heartbeat. As they approached, the aliens began scanning the area carefully. The planet below was barren, rocky, and lifeless. But beneath its surface lay a vault built by humans centuries ago. Its metal surface gleamed faintly under the light of distant stars. Strange symbols decorated its entrance, symbols that pulsed faintly with energy. Commander Kreldar studied them. "I have never seen anything like this," he said. "Even our strongest technology cannot decode it." "Then we should be careful," one of his officers warned. "The stories say human weapons are intelligent. They respond to those who are not worthy." On the Second Fleet, Admiral Sila nodded. "Exactly why we need them," she said. "If humans created them, their power could change everything." But caution did not last long. A small drone from Kreldar's fleet floated down to inspect the vault. Its mechanical arms reached for the surface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the ground shook. Ancient defenses, triggered by the probe signal, flared to life. Bright beams of energy shot from hidden turrets. The drone was destroyed instantly, shredded by a power no one had imagined could still exist. Kreldar stepped back, his eyes wide. "They are alive," he said softly. "These weapons, they remember humans." Sila's fleet witnessed the same phenomenon. Their ships shook as hidden sensors activated. Energy pulses danced across the planet's surface, forming strange patterns in the atmosphere. For the first time, both alien leaders felt fear, not of each other, but of what humans had left behind. In the midst of chaos, the probe activated unexpectedly. Its lights blinked rapidly, and a loud hum echoed across space. Both fleets paused, unsure what was happening. The probe began transmitting data in a language no alien had ever seen. Symbols, diagrams, and coordinates flashed across the screens. Even without understanding, they could sense the intelligence behind it. Kreldar turned to his officers. "Do you understand what this means?" he asked. They shook their heads. "It means humans planned this. They wanted anyone who finds their weapons to face a test or a trap." Sila's eyes narrowed. "A trap or a key," she whispered. "We might gain their power, or we might die trying." The alien ships hovered cautiously. Neither wanted to make the first move. Yet curiosity was stronger than fear. Small scouting teams were sent closer, their sensors probing for weak points. But the probe seemed to anticipate every move, sending pulses that interfered with alien technology. Ships malfunctioned, instruments failed, and crews felt an unnatural tension in the air, as if the planet itself was watching. As night fell on the barren planet, the alien leaders stared at the glowing vault, pulsing softly in the darkness. A storm of stars surrounded them, silent witnesses to the awakening of a human legacy. Neither fleet realized that this was only the beginning. The probe had awakened something old, something powerful, something humans had left behind for a reason. And as the first sparks of ancient energy danced across the vault, both sides understood one truth. They were not ready. Not even close. The humans were gone, but their weapons, their creations were still alive. And they were waiting. The alien fleets hovered above the barren planet, their massive ships reflecting faint starlight. Commander Kreldhar's fleet was tense. Sensors were active, scanning every inch of the terrain. Nothing had moved on the surface for centuries, except the probe and the vault. Yet an invisible presence seemed to stir in the shadows. "Sir," an officer reported, "energy readings from the vault are fluctuating. It is responding to us." Kreldhar's eyes narrowed. "Responding? How? Humans are gone. There should be nothing here." "They are not gone," the officer whispered. "Not completely. Their technology, it watches, it reacts. I think it knows we are here." Across the planet, Admiral Scylla observed the same readings. "It's more than energy," she said, gripping her console. "It is intelligence. Something from the humans is still alive." Both fleets knew they could not wait. The human weapons, though abandoned centuries ago, promised power beyond imagination. Each side calculated its approach carefully. But in the void of space, calculation could only go so far. Fear and curiosity battled with strategy. The first scouting ships descended slowly toward the vault. Kreldhar's fleet sent drones first, small, fast, and expendable. They hovered near the vault's entrance. For a moment, silence reigned. Then, alarms blared as the drone sensors were overloaded by sudden bursts of energy. Lights flickered. One drone shattered into pieces, tossed across the rocky terrain by invisible forces. "Do you see this?" Kreldhar hissed. "The humans, they left defenses that operate without any power source we understand." Scylla's ships mirrored the same struggle. "Keep your distance," she ordered. The legends were true. Their weapons are alive. Suddenly, the probe emitted a high-pitched signal. The air around the planet seemed to vibrate. Alien communications faltered. Ships shook violently. Crew members struggled to maintain control, their minds filled with strange visions. Flashes of humans, flashes of weapons, flashes of destruction. "By the stars," one alien muttered, "it sees us, it knows us, and it knows our intentions." Kreldhar's mind raced. He had faced countless enemies in his lifetime, but never anything like this. Not a fleet, not a creature, not a machine. Something entirely different. Something human. Scylla made a decision. She sent a small strike team, heavily armored, to capture a single weapon. "We need proof of their power," she said, her voice steady but cold. "One weapon will be enough to command the rest of the galaxy." The strike team landed near the vault entrance. The air shimmered around them. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the ground. As they approached, the ground suddenly trembled. One of the soldiers stepped on a metal plate, and a hidden mechanism sprang to life. A wall of light shot up, separating the team from their transport. Kreldhar watched helplessly. They cannot be controlled. Not by brute force. Not by cleverness. These are traps, tests. Inside the vault, the air shifted. Ancient mechanisms moved, almost as if the weapons were aware of the aliens' presence. Pulses of energy traced patterns in the walls. The strike team felt an unseen force pushing them back, warning them. Some weapons activated silently, their forms hidden but their threat unmistakable. Back in orbit, both fleets observed in shock. "We are not prepared," one of Kreldhar's officers admitted. "We do not understand this technology at all. One wrong step, and we may lose everything." Scylla ignored the warning. "We must try," she said. "The humans may be gone, but their creations, they are power. And power belongs to those brave enough to claim it." The vault suddenly shuddered. Energy flared across the planet's surface. Alien sensors went haywire. Communications broke down. The strike team on the ground screamed as invisible forces threw them against the rocks. Weapons fired on their own, narrowly missing them, as if testing their reactions. Kreldhar clenched his fists. "This is not just a weapon," he said. "It is a judgment. Humans created these to test the worthy and punish the foolish." Scylla stared at the energy flare. Then we will see if we are worthy, she said. Neither fleet moved. Neither dared make the next step. The ancient weapons of humans, left centuries ago, had awakened. They were unpredictable, intelligent, and lethal. The planet, silent for so long, had become a deadly chessboard. And the players, no matter how advanced, were not in control. Above them, the probe hummed, sending data back into the void. Its lights blinked rapidly, as if laughing or warning. Whatever humans had left behind, it was clear. The next move would decide not just who got the weapons, but who survived. And in the shadows of the barren planet, the first sparks of human defense technology danced, alive, waiting and watching every move. The battle had not begun, yet both alien fleets were exhausted. Ships hovered cautiously above the barren planet, their sensors still flickering from the strange pulses of energy. Commander Kreldor's fleet counted losses. Drones shredded, minor hull damage, and crews shaken by visions the probe seemed to induce. Across the void, Admiral Scylla faced a similar reality. Her strike team barely survived the vault's defense mechanisms. For a moment, silence fell. The alien leaders stared at each other across the vast emptiness of space. Neither wanted to make the first move, but neither could turn away. The humans were gone, yet their creations ruled this planet like guardians of an old secret. Kreldor broke the silence. "We need to stop fighting each other," he said. "We may survive longer if we observe, if we learn. This is no ordinary weapon. It is alive." Scylla's voice came calm over the comms. "I agree, but observation is temporary. Curiosity may kill us if we linger too long." Reluctantly, both fleets pulled back slightly, hovering in an uneasy truce. Alien ships scanned the vault cautiously, noting symbols, energy patterns, and the strange vibrations of the planet's surface. The probe continued to blink, sending out pulses of data no one could decode fully. On the planet, remnants of the strike team gathered, shaken but alive. One soldier pointed to glowing markings on the walls. "These symbols, they're warnings. Or maybe instructions. I can't read them, but they feel alive." Kreldor leaned closer to his sensors. "Humans were smart," he muttered. "They left instructions for anyone who comes here. A test, a challenge. We may not survive this if we make a mistake." Scylla observed a hidden panel in the vault flicker. "The humans designed these weapons to select their users," she said. "Not everyone is worthy. Perhaps that is why we are alive and why our drones were destroyed. Only those who prove themselves can claim them." A sudden tremor shook the planet. Hidden mechanisms activated without warning. Energy arcs danced across the vault's entrance. Both fleets watched in awe as the pulse patterns changed, almost like the weapons were communicating with each other. Kreldor's eyes widened. "They are aware of us. Not just aware, judging us." Scylla's jaw tightened. "Then we must be careful. One wrong move could destroy us entirely." Inside the vault, the strike team tried to decipher more symbols. One alien pointed to a holographic projection that suddenly flickered to life. It showed humans from centuries ago, handling weapons with care, speaking in a language no alien understood. The hologram depicted battles, strategies, and traps designed to protect the technology from misuse. "These are humans," one officer whispered, "and they thought far ahead of us." Suddenly, a small weapon on the floor activated. Its lights blinked softly, and it floated into the air. Instead of attacking, it hovered near a soldier, scanning him. The team held their breath. Slowly, the weapon retracted and powered down. It had judged him and found him worthy. Kreldor's fleet observed the same phenomenon. "It chooses," he said. "It does not attack mindlessly. It tests, evaluates, decides who may survive. And we are being tested." Scylla frowned. "This may be our only chance. If we learn its rules, if we survive its tests, we could claim the weapons. But failure means death." For hours, both fleets observed quietly. Tension built with every pulse of energy. Every alien officer wondered how humans, long gone, could leave something so alive, so intelligent, and so dangerous. Meanwhile, the probe floated silently, almost smugly, sending data that hinted at more hidden traps. Symbols changed on the vault walls, responding to alien presence. Energy flickered across the planet, forming patterns that seemed almost like warnings. Do not touch. Do not steal. Do not fight. The uneasy truce lasted until the fleets realized something more alarming. One ship from Sila's fleet had secretly attempted to move closer to the vault. Without warning, hidden defenses activated. Energy blasts tore across the ground, narrowly missing the ship. Alarms screamed in orbit. Kreldhar's voice rang out. They are testing them too. This is not just a puzzle for one side. It is a judgment for all who approach. Sila's face darkened. We will not retreat, but we must respect the rules or we die. For the first time, both fleets understood that human technology was not merely powerful. It was moral. It judged intent, punished greed, and rewarded restraint. And in this barren corner of the galaxy, centuries after humans stopped using these weapons, their legacy still held the ultimate power. As night fell on the rocky planet, energy pulses traced glowing lines across the vault walls. The aliens stared, captivated and terrified. Neither knew what the next step should be. One wrong move, and centuries of preparation would mean nothing. The humans were gone, yet their creations lived on. And in the silent void of space, it was clear these weapons would decide the fate of anyone who dared challenge them. And so, the uneasy truce continued. Fleets hovering, eyes watching, minds calculating, hearts filled with fear. The first lesson had been learned. Power without understanding is death. Yet, somewhere deep inside, both leaders knew this was only the beginning. The vault had more secrets. And as long as the humans' technology remained, no one, not even the most advanced aliens, would be safe. High above the barren planet, the alien fleets remained in uneasy silence. Commander Kreldhar and Admiral Sila both stared at the glowing vault, sensing that what lay inside was more than simple weapons. It was a story of humans long gone, but still alive through their creations. Inside the vault, the strike team cautiously explored. Strange holographic images flickered to life, projecting humans from centuries past. They were tall, strong, and intelligent, but not monstrous. Their faces were determined, not cruel. They held weapons, yes, but not for greed. They were tools of survival, of protection, and of responsibility. One of the aliens whispered in awe. They were not just warriors, they were thinkers, planners, strategists. Everything they left was designed with purpose. The hologram showed humans testing weapons, experimenting with energy, and leaving fail-safes in place. Machines moved, almost like living beings, reacting to humans' presence. Then the images changed. Battles against other species unfolded. But humans were careful. Every weapon had rules. Every strike had limits. No weapon attacked without reason. No life was taken unnecessarily. Kreldhar's eyes widened. They were centuries ahead, not just in technology, but in morality. They created weapons that judged intent, not just targets. Sila frowned, studying a hologram of a weapon floating above the ground. And they stopped using them, she said. Centuries ago, humans abandoned these weapons, but they designed them to survive, to protect, and to test anyone who dares use them. Suddenly, a projection shifted, showing a human voice in an ancient language. Though unintelligible to the aliens, the tone carried authority and wisdom. Energy pulsed from the walls, as if the vault itself responded to the message. The aliens instinctively understood one thing. These weapons were not meant to be stolen. They were meant to teach, to challenge, to judge. One officer pointed to a strange diagram. It depicted DNA sequences and patterns. They designed these weapons to recognize humans. Only humans, or those clever enough to understand human strategy, can truly control them. Kreldhar's mind raced. They predicted that others would find them. That's why the defenses are so adaptive. They evolve, they judge, they punish the greedy or reckless. Sila stared at the projection of humans in a control room. They wanted to test the galaxy, she said. Not with armies, not with invasions, but with challenges. These weapons are a lesson. Whoever survives proves themselves worthy. Suddenly, one of the weapons activated near the strike team. Unlike before, it did not just hover. It moved in intricate patterns, testing the aliens' reactions. The team ducked, dodged, and hesitated. Slowly, the weapon powered down. It had judged them, not worthy yet, but capable of learning. Humans design intelligence into their weapons, one officer muttered. Not just the machines, but the ethics, the morality. They are teaching, not killing. Kreldar stepped back, feeling both awe and fear. They were gone centuries ago, but they left behind not just tools, but a legacy, a lesson. The galaxy underestimated them. And even now, they control everything from beyond their disappearance. Scylla turned to her crew, her voice steady but cautious. We are far from understanding their intentions. One mistake, and this vault, these weapons, they will destroy us. Humans may be gone, but their legacy still dominates this place. Outside, the alien fleets observed the energy pulses from the vault. Patterns shifted, almost like a heartbeat. The probe hovered silently, sending information that no alien could fully comprehend. The humans' creations were alive in ways neither fleet could predict. Kreldar muttered. Centuries ago, humans stopped using these weapons, but they knew the galaxy would not be ready. So they left trials, safeguards, and tests. They planned for those who came after them, knowing only the wise could survive. Scylla nodded. We are being tested, Kreldar. Tested for our intentions, our judgment, our restraint. Only those who understand responsibility may control these weapons, and I fear many will fail. The holograms shifted once more, showing humans walking away from their machines. The vault doors closed slowly, sealing the secrets within. Energy arced across the walls, as if marking the end of one lesson and the beginning of another. Kreldar glanced at Scylla across the void. We are learning too late, he admitted. We thought this was about power. It is about intelligence, foresight, and wisdom. They are masters beyond comprehension. The planet remained silent once more. The weapons rested, the energy pulses slowed, but the warning lingered. The human's legacy was alive, and it would judge all who dared approach. The aliens realized that centuries of human absence did not matter. The humans' creations were still in control, still testing, still proving that intelligence and responsibility outlast brute strength and ambition. In that moment, both fleets understood. Humans were gone, but their legacy had become the ultimate power. And anyone who thought they could challenge it, without understanding, would pay the price. The uneasy truce could not last. In the silent void above the barren planet, greed and ambition stirred. Not all aliens were content to wait and observe. Some believed they could seize the human weapons without understanding the rules. Among them, Admiral Scylla's second-in-command whispered dangerous words. Why watch when we can claim? If humans left these weapons, we can take them. Their tests mean nothing to us. Scylla, cautious but ambitious, hesitated. These are not ordinary weapons, she reminded him. They choose their user. They test morality. We cannot force them. But the officer, driven by hunger for power, ignored her. In the darkness of orbit, he secretly maneuvered a fleet of smaller ships closer to the vault. His plan was simple. Breach the defenses, grab a weapon, and return victorious. He underestimated the humans' foresight. On the planet, energy pulses flared suddenly. Hidden mechanisms responded to the intrusion. A wall of light shot upward, separating the intruding ships from the vault. Automated turrets emerged, firing beams of energy. The weapons were alive, not in a simple way, but in a way that could read intent. They attacked with precision. The officer's fleet was caught off guard. Ships exploded in bright flashes, torn apart by energy patterns they could not anticipate. Some tried to retreat, but the vault's defenses continued to anticipate every maneuver. The humans' machines were alive, watching, punishing. Kreldar observed in horror. They have no understanding. The humans left not weapons, but judgment, and judgment does not forgive arrogance. Scylla's communications crackled. They are attacking, she said. But why? These ships are ours. The holographic symbols from the vault pulsed violently. One of the automated weapons lifted from the ground, its form unknown yet deadly. It hovered above the nearest alien ship, scanning, calculating, and firing with lightning speed. The attackers had no time to react. Their fleet was decimated in moments. Inside the vault, the strike team watched silently. They had learned restraint, patience, observation. They understood the humans' intent. But the newcomers? Their greed had triggered consequences. Explosions rocked the planet's surface, sending shockwaves into orbit. Alien ships fell like leaves in a storm. Kreldhar's own fleet had prepared cautiously, but even they were not immune. A small misstep brought a beam of energy across one of his ships, tearing through the hull. He realized the humans' weapons did not just attack. They adapted. They studied their enemies, calculated weaknesses, and struck accordingly. Scylla gritted her teeth. "I should have known," she muttered. "Force cannot claim these weapons. Only understanding, only wisdom, only those who respect the humans' rules may survive." But the betrayal had set a chain in motion. The vault's defenses grew more aggressive. Energy arcs spread across the planet, striking the ground, lighting up the sky in colors no alien had ever seen. Beams cut through ships like paper. Drones and fighters disintegrated in seconds. The humans' machines judged swiftly and without mercy. Kreldhar watched as the attacking ships fled, many in flames. "This is the humans' legacy," he whispered. "They did not leave these weapons for conquest. They left them for those who could respect power, for those who could survive by intelligence, not by force." The vault's energy pulsed again. Symbols shifted, forming intricate patterns that almost seemed like laughter or a warning. The strike team, still inside, nodded to each other silently. They had learned the lesson humans intended. Patience, respect, and understanding were the key. Scylla's remaining ships retreated carefully, the scars of betrayal evident in every hull. She looked at Kreldhar and said, "We cannot fight them, not like this. The human's judgment is absolute. Only by respecting it may we hope to survive or claim even a fraction of their legacy." Kreldhar nodded. "Greed brings destruction. Understanding brings survival. The humans, even gone, are still the masters here." Above the vault, the probe continued to float silently. Its lights blinked in rhythm with the planet's energy pulses, as if recording every action, every failure, every lesson. The humans had left no room for error. And so, the betrayal ended not in victory, but in devastation. Alien fleets learned the hard way that centuries-old human weapons were not just technology. They were intelligence and morality encoded in metal and energy. As the dust settled, the energy from the vault dimmed slightly, signaling a pause in judgment. But the warning remained clear. The humans' creations would not forgive arrogance or greed. The galaxy had been reminded, again, that even in absence, humans' legacy was alive, powerful, and beyond comprehension. The battle had quieted, but the planet's surface was alive with energy. The alien fleets hovered warily, their ships scarred and trembling. Commander Kreldhar and Admiral Scylla realized that brute force alone could not control the humans' weapons. They were not merely tools. They were lessons, judgments, and guardians all in one. Then, a new pulse spread across the planet. It was different from before, larger, more deliberate. The vault itself seemed to awaken. Hidden mechanisms shifted, creating a hum that resonated through the alien ship's hulls. The probe's lights blinked rapidly, almost urgently. Something was happening. Inside the vault, the strike team watched in awe. A holographic interface activated, brighter and more complex than before. The energy flowed around them like a living river. And then a voice spoke. Not just a sound, but a presence. Clear, commanding, and unmistakably human. "Who approaches without understanding?" the voice asked. The aliens froze. It was speaking in an ancient human language. Yet somehow they could feel the meaning. A warning, a challenge, a reminder. Kreldhar's jaw tightened. This is a human AI," he whispered. "They are still watching." Scylla nodded, her voice low. "Not watching, judging." The AI projected holograms of humans from centuries past, moving with precision and calm. Weapons hovered around them, obeying only their commands. The voice spoke again, words translated into the alien fleet systems. "Only those who understand responsibility may wield these weapons." Those who seek power for greed will perish. A surge of energy erupted from a vault. Alien ships wavered in orbit as protective fields formed around the vault. The remaining automated weapons activated fully, hovering above the ground, scanning the fleets. Some weapons fired non-lethal pulses, testing reactions. Others observed silently, calculating. Every movement was judged, every intention measured. Kreldar understood the warning. They are alive in every sense. This AI is human thought made real. Their intelligence is centuries beyond us. They have not returned physically, but they are here through their machines. Sila's hands tightened on the controls. We must respect it. We cannot fight it. If we survive, it will be because we understand, not because we are stronger. The AI continued, projecting images of humans handling weapons with care, leaving systems in place to prevent misuse, and walking away from power they could have wielded. It was clear. Humans designed their legacy not for conquest, but for responsibility. Suddenly, one alien ship attempted to bypass the AI's judgment. Instantly, a beam of energy enveloped it, disabling engines without harming life forms. Another ship fired a weapon recklessly. Its systems were neutralized, its crew shaken by visions of human battles long past. The AI was teaching, testing, punishing, and protecting all at once. Kreldar and Sila exchanged glances. The lesson was unmistakable. The human's legacy was not about destruction. It was about foresight, wisdom, and moral strength. Those who ignored it would suffer. Those who respected it might survive, and perhaps learn from it. A calm settled over fleets. Energy pulses slowed. The AI's voice softened, and the weapons hovered silently. Both Kreldar and Sila realized the humans had not left these machines to be stolen. They were challenges, tests, and reminders of intelligence that transcended time. Sila spoke quietly. This is HFY in its truest form. Humans are gone, yet their intelligence shapes the galaxy. Their foresight, their moral strength survives, and it judges us all. Kreldar nodded. We are learning the hard way that power without wisdom is worthless. Humans, even in absence, are the ultimate masters. The vault's energy pulses dimmed slowly, signaling the end of this phase of judgment. The probe floated silently, recording every movement, every reaction, every decision. It was a final reminder that the humans' creations would not forgive recklessness or greed. And then, as the alien fleets began to retreat cautiously, a faint signal reached deep into space. An echo of Earth, just enough to remind the galaxy that humans were still watching, still guiding, still alive to the legacy they left behind. The lesson was clear. Strength alone could never claim what humans had created. Only understanding, restraint, and respect could allow survival. And for the first time, the aliens truly understood why humans had stopped using these weapons centuries ago. The humans had not disappeared because they were weak. They had transcended, leaving behind a test for all who followed. A test that no one could pass without recognizing the brilliance, foresight, and moral judgment that defined humanity. In the silent void of space, the vault glowed faintly. The probe blinked in rhythm, and both fleets moved back. They were alive, yes, but forever changed. And somewhere far away, the faint signal from Earth whispered. Humans were still watching, still guiding, still the true masters of the galaxy. The alien fleets floated silently above the barren planet, battered, wary, and deeply changed. The vault had gone quiet. The weapons, the AI, and the probe all rested, their energy pulses slowing to a gentle rhythm. Commander Kreldar and Admiral Sila gazed at the glowing structure below, understanding something that words could not fully capture. Humans were gone, but their legacy was alive, and it had judged them all. Kreldar's voice was quiet. We came seeking power. Instead, we found wisdom and our limits. Humans may be gone physically, but their creations, their intelligence, it survives. And it is more than any weapon or fleet. Sila nodded, her eyes still on the vault. They tested us not to destroy, but to teach. To show that strength without understanding is meaningless. Humans are extraordinary. Both fleets began their cautious retreat. Ships that had once been aggressive now moved slowly, scanning every movement, every energy pulse. No one dared challenge the humans' legacy further. Even those who survived the initial attacks felt a deep respect and fear for what they had witnessed. On the planet, the strike team remained inside the vault, observing the weapons and holograms. They had learned restraint, patience, and understanding. The AI remained active but calm, its final lesson clear. The humans had left behind not just machines, but a moral compass. Kreldar turned to Scylla. The galaxy must know what we have seen. Humans are not merely fighters. They are thinkers, planners, and above all, responsible. Their weapons are dangerous, yes, but only to those unworthy. Their true power is their mind, their foresight, their ability to create tests that endure centuries. Scylla's voice softened. We came here to claim weapons. We leave with respect. Humans' legacy is HFY at its finest. Even centuries after their disappearance, they dominate the galaxy, not by force, but by intelligence and moral strength. That is something no alien race can claim. As the fleets moved away, energy pulses from the vault faded, leaving a calm silence over the planet. The probe floated still, its lights blinking slowly, recording the final moments of judgment. Somewhere in the distant void, a faint human signal echoed, a reminder that humans were still watching. Across the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Legends of humans and their intelligent, moral weapons reached other civilizations. Stories told of machines that could judge intent, punish arrogance, and reward understanding. Aliens who had witnessed the vault firsthand spoke of humans as a race beyond imagination, a species whose legacy could not be stolen, copied, or destroyed. Kreldar looked at his fleet, battered but alive. We have learned the most important lesson of our lives, he said. The humans may not be here, but they are still the masters. We must respect intelligence, morality, and foresight, or we risk our own destruction. Scylla's fleet mirrored the sentiment. Let this be a warning to all who seek power without understanding. Humans stopped using their weapons centuries ago, not out of fear, but out of responsibility. That responsibility is what made them the ultimate force in the galaxy. The alien fleet slowly disappeared into the stars, leaving the planet and its vault behind. The humans' weapons remained silent, alive, and vigilant. They had survived centuries without their creators and would continue to do so for centuries more. Every pulse, every mechanism, every AI program was a testament to human ingenuity, morality, and foresight. And somewhere far away on Earth, or a hidden outpost, the faint signal continued, a reminder that humans, though absent in form, were ever present through their legacy. The galaxy had been tested, judged, and reminded. Intelligence, restraint, and morality surpassed brute strength. The barren planet remained silent once more, yet the story of humans echoed across space. Fleets told tales of the vault, of intelligent weapons, and of a race whose foresight made them eternal. Aliens would never forget. Humans may have stopped fighting, but their legacy was eternal. In that vast emptiness, the lesson was clear. Humans were gone, but their brilliance, their foresight, and their moral strength defined the galaxy. Even absent, they were the ultimate masters. HFY had triumphed without a single human setting foot in the battlefield. The vault glowed faintly under distant starlight. The probe blinked one last time, and the galaxy remembered. Humans had fought with intellect, left with wisdom, and ruled through legacy. And in that quiet victory, the universe learned that the true power of humanity was eternal, unseen, respected, and unmatched. The galaxy had quieted after chaos. Alien fleets that once hovered aggressively above the barren planet were now far away, patched, weary, and deeply changed. Commander Kreldar's fleet drifted through the starry void, the hum of damaged engines filling the silence. Every officer aboard felt it. A lesson had been learned, not through battle, but through the intelligence and foresight of humans long gone. Yet, far beyond their sensors, a faint signal flickered in the depths of space. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, yet it carried a message. The humans were still present, watching, observing, guiding, not directly, but through the legacy they had left behind. Kreldar studied the readings. Even now, they are not gone, he murmured. Their presence, their intelligence, it reaches across light years. We were tested, judged, and even now, I feel we are only beginning to understand. Scylla's fleet, retreating cautiously from the vault planet, picked up the same signal. "It is a reminder," she said quietly. "Humans never fought for conquest. Their battles were with foresight, with responsibility. They are not here physically. Yet everything they touch, every mechanism, every system, carries their influence." Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Alien civilizations whispered of the vault, of the intelligent weapons, and of the humans who had created them. No species had ever seen such a combination of power, intelligence, and morality. Some called it myth, others feared it. But all agreed humanity had left a legacy impossible to ignore. Back on the barren planet, the vault remained silent, yet alive. Its doors closed, energy pulsating slowly like a heartbeat. The probe hovered nearby, recording every reaction, every movement of the alien fleets, sending subtle signals out into space. Its data would remain, waiting for the next curious species, or perhaps the humans themselves, to act. Sila's voice echoed over her fleet's comms. "The galaxy may never see humans again, yet they shape it still. Their creations judge, protect, and guide. That is power beyond any weapon or fleet. HFY has triumphed, not by war, but by intelligence." Kreldar looked at the distant stars, a sense of awe filling him. The humans left behind not just weapons, not just technology, but a code, a rule, a principle. Those who respect intelligence and morality may survive. Those who do not perish. That is the truest strength of their race. In quiet corners of the galaxy, scattered reports emerged of unusual energy readings, strange patterns in distant planets, and signals of unknown origin. Scholars and strategists speculated the humans may have left more than one vault. Perhaps more tests, more lessons, more intelligence scattered across the stars. The fleets that survived the first encounter knew one thing. They were forever changed. Greed had led to near destruction. Respect had allowed survival. And somewhere, far beyond their comprehension, humans were still watching, still guiding, still proving that even absent in form, their influence could dominate the galaxy. As the fleets departed the sector, a faint pulse reached the edge of known space. It was subtle, almost like a whisper, but it carried the unmistakable rhythm of the human's legacy: intelligence, foresight, and moral judgment. A promise, a warning, a challenge. Kreldar and Sila both understood. The story was far from over. The humans' creations were eternal, and any civilization that ignored the lessons of the vault would face consequences. And yet, for those who observed, respected, and learned, humanity's influence was a guide, a beacon of wisdom in the vast emptiness of space. The stars stretched endlessly before them, silent witnesses to the enduring legacy of a species gone from sight, but never from influence. And in that quiet, both fleets knew the truth. Humans had transcended mere physical existence. Their power, intelligence, and moral strength would echo through the galaxy forever. Somewhere in the distance, a faint signal pulsed again. The message was clear. Humans are gone, yet their legacy is eternal. The galaxy will remember, and those who listen may yet survive. The stage was set. The lessons were written in energy and metal. And for anyone daring enough to seek it, humanity's true influence remained, waiting, watching, and eternal.